Hey everyone, welcome back to Bird Talk with Terrence Mathis. I'm William Brandon. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel Atlanta Sports Unlimited so you don't miss an episode. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the simplest sports fantasy game on the market. You can pick from basketball or you can pick professional football, either one. And it's very simple. Download it from the App Store or Google Play. And get this, sign up using the code ASU and Prize Picks will 100% match your initial offer up to $100. Well, after two more spectacular football games on Sunday, the Super Bowl teams have been determined. The Cincinnati Bengals defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and the Los Angeles Rams defeated the 49ers in the NFC Championship. And we'll start with the Bengals first. What do you think of that resilience of those Bengals team to come back continuously and to pull off a win, Terrence?
What do you mean? What do I think of that Kansas City Chiefs just giving the game on a platter to them? that was the case, and well, when it's given to you like that, I credit the Bengals for taking advantage of that and getting back into that game and winning that football game in overtime. Now, here's the thing. Right before half, you have an opportunity to put points on the board with 5 seconds to go. Everyone knows with 5 seconds to go, you do not run another play. You kick a field goal right there. And if you're going to run a play, it's a quick throw to the end zone, over the head, or a touchdown. You don't throw the ball laterally and try to get into the end zone. You got greedy right there. And I don't understand. I can't understand that with when you have a veteran coach like Andy Reid, where you would do something like that in that situation. And and I think that was the catalyst of the way we've seen the Kansas City Chiefs offense play in the second half. I thought Mahomes was confused.
Yeah.
I thought he was hesitant. I thought he was tentative in the second half because there were guys open and he just wouldn't throw the ball. And I didn't understand what was going on there. I was so frustrated by that. But at the end of the day, Joe Burrows and that offense, when they had opportunity to score points, they did so. And here's the one I was very confused about. This is the one I was really, really confused about. The end of the game, and I get what you were doing. I get what you was trying to do. You was trying to take as much time off the clock, so Joe Burrows wouldn't have a chance to do what you did the week before.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a veteran head coach of many, many years in many, many championship games. Run the football if you're trying to run the clock. Don't throw the football. The third down play that kicked the field goal to
Yeah.
put them in
Kelsey.
overtime. Kelsey was
Wow.
wide open. He was wide. I didn't know. And then I understand what he was doing, running around, running around. I know you're not trying to stop the clock. I mean, I don't want it incomplete, but go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Step up and go forward. And it was just, I don't know what was going on at that moment between the head coach, offensive coordinator, and the quarterback. I don't know what was happening in that sequence of plays of the last 5 minutes of game. And it was very disturbing to me to see that because this is a veteran football team with a veteran coaching staff. For them just to implode the way they imploded was just uncharacteristic and disturbing.
Yeah, that play you're talking about, I wrote it down. I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. Like you said, it was third down before the field goal, and Pat Mahomes kept doing this pirouette, running around. But when they
Right.
showed the replay, Kelsey went in and he was wide
He was,
open, but he didn't pull the
and it was
trigger.
and there was no pressure at that
Yeah,
time.
I
He
don't
all
know.
he had to do was step in through the throw and throw it. I didn't understand that. I just and see, and then for his tentative play in the fourth quarter, and well, the whole second half,
Mm-hmm.
the turnover in overtime was inevitable. We knew inevitable. We knew the way he would, and I'm going, why did you throw that ball there? I didn't understand why did you throw that ball there out of it seems like he said, "Oh, I got it." Well, and just threw it. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Only he knows.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't see that the Cincinnati Bengals did anything to confuse him or do anything differently. I just, for some reason, he was uncomfortable that whole second half, and I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I agree. He seemed very shaky and scared about some of those throws. I don't know, like you said, I don't know if it was because he was afraid he might throw a pick there and was trying to
Ah,
make sure they got to overtime. So let's just go ahead and get
right,
the field goal. But
right.
and then even then, they got the ball first again, like the previous week we discussed. And I guarantee if they would have won the game, that rule would have been changed. But the
Yeah,
NFL was probably over there like, yes.
yes, yes. And the thing is, I get it, not trying to turn the ball over and playing for a field goal. We'll run the football then.
Hmm.
What they do? Throw the ball on 3 downs in a row?
Yeah, I believe so.
Run the football.
Hmm.
Run the football. I don't. Well, they ran it. No, they did run it once and got inside the 10-yard line with McKinney.
Yeah.
And then after that, they started losing ground because he was doing all the rest of that stuff. So I didn't understand. I didn't understand the play calling, and I didn't understand the execution of the plays, and I didn't understand the demeanor and the mentality of way the Patrick Mahomes handled that situation.
Yeah. Um, I the Bengals. I mean, for 2 weeks in a row to come back like this and to play with such resilience for a young team.
Right,
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have
right,
never lost a playoff game together, whether college or the NFL.
right. That's amazing. Here it is. Someone asked me a few weeks ago when playoffs first started,
Mhm.
do you see Joe Burrows as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL? I says, ask me that question after he win a few playoff games.
Mhm.
And right now, he's there.
Yeah.
He's going into next year. He's going to be one of the elite 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. He earned it. He deserves it because you want to see him play in pressure situations.
Mhm.
And what he has done is taken his team, not only giving them an AFC championship, he's about to play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's an elite quarterback.
And such quick time too. What's his second year? Joe Burrow's
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yeah. Third year, something like that.
Yeah.
He got hurt. I think he got hurt the second year. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, he's been good since he first put on the Bengals helmet.
Hmm.
Put it that way.
And then the second game of the day, you had San Francisco 49ers taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Another game that was close. The 49ers had won both games this season against the Rams, and you and I both picked the Rams. What did you
Hmm.
think about that game? I mean, it turned out what we thought. It was a little closer than I expected. I mean,
Well,
it came down to the wire.
um, we always say one or two plays decide the outcome of the game. The Garoppolo interception at the end ended the game for them. They had an opportunity to go downfield and
And the
make it a
dropped
whole different
interception.
ball game,
Yeah.
and they did not. But you know what? Here's the thing: um, McVay has put together a football team about 8 weeks ago, maybe less than that. That everybody says, "How is this going to work? How is this? How is this going to work?" I think Von Miller uh, revitalized his career because of Aaron Donald.
Mhm.
The way Aaron Donald played, he says, "Oh my God, this guy plays lights out every down, no matter the situation." And Von Miller has piggybacked off of that and become the future Hall of Famer that we know he's gonna be. And then here's the thing: you take Matthew Stafford, you switch quarterbacks, Golf, Stafford, whatsoever,
Yeah.
and I'm happy for Matthew Stafford because basically he can say, "See, you put some dudes around me, I can win and get us to a Super Bowl,"
Yeah.
which Detroit refused to do when he kept asking them for that. And then when everybody wrote Odell Beckham Jr. off,
Yeah.
saying he's the problem in Cleveland and blah, 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 he can't get open, this and that and this, he's on his way to the Super Bowl. So we're looking at two players where the critics, the so-called experts says they're the problems in the former teams,
Mhm.
and you put them together, now they're getting ready to play in the Super Bowl and probably win it. So, so I always say you don't listen to these naysayers, these experts has never done it before at the highest level because they don't know what they're talking about. At the end of the day, you know, you put people in a situation that is a good situation, a positive situation, and everyone's vying for the same things, you're gonna have some success.
And I know people, may not want to use the correlation, but I will. This is another playoff game, fourth quarter, blown lead by Kyle Shanahan as a head coach or offensive coordinator, dating back to the Falcons Super Bowl loss. He continues, or his teams continue to not close it out, so to speak.
Right.
And it
Right.
happened again this year.
I don't understand what happens there with that. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna give him a pat on the back and say that a boy, because he's done this without a premier receiver. You're gonna say, oh, Debo Sam. No, Debo is not that guy that's gonna go out and catch 8 to 10 balls a game whatsoever. He's gonna do his damage in the backfield and receiving the ball, but he's not that dude that's gonna just take over a game on the outside and help you. So with that being said, um, who's your go-to man in situations? They don't have that because he depends so much on that running game. Kyle Shanahan is so old school that he can't help himself, because the mentality back in the day was you get up and you run the ball, you run time off, and your defense will stop them whatsoever. Not in today's game, baby. Today's game, you got to score, 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 or they're gonna score, 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 and come rolling back. So you know, something has to give. He's gonna have to find a big play receiver. I think it's time for Garoppolo to move over for the Trey Lance experience.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. I got one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take Jimmy G in Atlanta right now?
I saw a meme or something with someone posted like, "Oh, there goes Atlanta Falcons' new quarterback." Me personally, I'll rather stick with Matt Ryan until the contract expires or whatnot with that.
Well,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying.
you're saying
Matt
when it
Ryan.
expires? No,
Matt
I
Ryan
probably.
contract expires, but now you have Jimmy G sitting on the bench, ready to take over.
Mm.
Listen. Here's the thing. You have a guy in waiting with experience,
Yeah.
right? At any minute, he can take over the reins. What it does for your starting quarterback, his level of play goes to a different level because he has competition in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
When the last time Matt Ryan had competition in a never,
Yeah.
never, never.
Mm-hmm.
So here's an opportunity for you to have competition in the meeting room and on the field whatsoever. And Matt Ryan play would go higher. It would probably exceed expectations for next year. And then he can walk away, ride away on a white horse into the sunset. And then Jimmy G, who's an experienced quarterback in the league, who in this offense is not really, it doesn't have to really do a whole lot. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? It's almost like the San Francisco's offense. You really don't have to do a whole lot, and he may have weapons at his disposal with the Atlanta Falcons more than he did with the 49ers.
That'll be a hard pass for me.
I'm just making a case.
I know.
Look, I'm not saying that's what I want to see happen,
Yeah.
but if they did that, I can justify, okay, I see why they did that.
And with your boy Tom Brady officially retired today,
Yeah.
Matt
Yeah.
Ryan's the best quarterback in the division without question. It's got to be.
And the oldest by far.
Yes.
He's probably the oldest with all of them combined. No, just kidding. Yeah, the oldest by far. Right now, he's the best quarterback in the division right now. Carolina, they're struggling to see what they're going to do quarterback wise. I think they're going to stick with Sam Darnold. They paid him a whole lot of money, and he's a young guy, and they're trying to bring in different coordinators and different pieces to help him. Tampa is the one that's going to struggle the most because you don't know where they go from here.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose both of their coordinators, offensively and defensive coordinator, two new jobs. It's like, and your Hall of Fame, the greatest quarterback of all time, and you lose him. And then you have all like 6 or 7 guys that are the nucleus of your team and is free agents. Oh my, it, it's it's a rebuild year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm just
Yes.
saying and then we haven't even talked about the Saints and the surprise retirement of Sean Payton. But look, I'm meeting with the owner, my exit meeting of the year, and the owner says to me, and the GM says to me, "Ooh, we're $79 million
Over. Yes.
over the cap, and we don't have a quarterback. We don't have a number one receiver. Make it happen, Sean." Oh, well, let me think about that.
Hmm.
We can't draft. We can't do anything in free agency. We don't have a quarterback. We gave all this money to Tyson Hill. Taysom Hill. We gave all this money to him, which I don't understand why. So now we're 79 million over the cap. Oh, oh,
Great for Atlanta.
I think I'm gonna sit out for this year and see what happens in Dallas and how they do with McCarthy's situation. And then I go join my best friend and buddy Jerry Jones with all that talent he has and take
Mhm.
that team to the Super Bowl.
We were talking about Matt, and he's probably the oldest active QB. Maybe I have to check the numbers on that, but
You know
it's
what?
got to be pretty close.
You don't even have to check the numbers. I don't know. I think wait a minute,
He's
Aaron Rodgers might be older.
so he's got he has the most passing yards
Right.
among active QBs right now.
Yeah.
Matt's at
Yeah.
top 59,735.
Hmm.
Then you have Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, Flacco, and then Russell
Right.
Wilson.
Hmm.
So Matt Ryan's got a good lead
Right.
on the
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers is probably the oldest. I'm not. I don't quote me on that,
yeah.
but yeah, don't quote me on that.
So in my eyes, it's now time. I mean, it's always been the time for Matt to shine, but he really needs to now. He doesn't have anybody in his division like Big Brother Tom or Big Brother Sean. I mean, Drew Brees.
Right.
It's it's your division in my
Right.
eyes to dominate at least on the offensive side of the ball. You
Well, we
know.
got to put some. We got to put some more weapons around him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right now we don't. Right now we have. People, we don't have a running back. We don't have a true running back that we can give the ball to 25 times a game, and that he's going to do some damage. We don't have that guy. We don't have that guy that even as a running back
Mm-hmm.
touching it another 5 times a game in a passing game. We
Yeah.
don't have that guy. And you can say Cordell Patterson is that guy. He's not that guy, folks. Stop it. He's not that guy. And 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 Mike Davis hasn't shown to be that guy.
Yeah.
And then you're talking about the offensive line is going to be better because of the experience. You have a better offensive line. You're going to have Kyle Pitts, and then who else? I mean,
I mean,
Cage is a Cage is a
yeah.
third down receiver. He's a number two receiver. He's not a number one receiver. What are you going to do at that position? Because it looks like um, Ridley is on his way to a different environment.
Yeah.
And I think it is, and people can, it's, I believe it's going to be best for both. It's going to
Yeah.
be best for both. But I think a fresh start for both teams, for him and the team, is the best thing to do here. I mean, you know, why, if you're unsure of how many games he's going to give you got to let him go somewhere else.
I
And
agree.
as the player, if you're not comfortable and you're unsure that you can play in this city with this team, it's time for you to go. And it's okay. It's
Yep.
okay. It's okay. It happens. It's okay. The marriage breaks up. Let's go do something different. It's okay. It's okay. And the Falcons, what they're gonna have to do, they're gonna have to go get a couple of dudes and that can play. Here's I know I'm going on and on and on, but I'm so passionate about this game that
Mhm.
it just drives me crazy when the obvious is sitting there in your face and you won't do the obvious. You know, I think this organization, and I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons, want to
Yeah.
be the good old boy organization. They want to be that organization like the Patriots, where none of their players get in trouble. Oh, this is the All American team, All American players. I think we so want to be marketable as a franchise, from all the things, from the new stadium to all the bells and whistles around the stadium, and all these things, that we forget about the product on the field. So
Mhm.
we want the product to be, it's almost like you want customer service. You want product. Yes, sir. No, sir. How
Mhm.
may I help you, sir? Oh, I'm sorry that happened. Oh, let me fix it for you. No, 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 no. Football is not like that. It's hit you in the mouth, and I'm gonna hug you and say, "Hey, brother, I'll see you next time."
Mhm.
That's what it is. It's gonna be some trash talking. It's gonna be that thing. It's gonna be people showing their frustrations. They're gonna be coaches and players in each other's face. That's what football is all about. It's passionate. It's passionate, and we need more passionate players on this team. That's a little edgy, that plays right there on the cliff, and then comes back. We need those type of players. Those
And
are players. Look at both teams, and look at these teams in the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald would fight you in a minute, but he's the greatest defensive player right now of our generation. I mean, we and I don't,
I was gonna say you said it a long time ago last year. The Falcons need some dogs.
they need
They
some
don't.
dogs. They
And
need some dogs, and here it is. You know, I can be the nicest, gentlest guy that you can ever meet, and you know, but on that sideline as a coach, I'm telling my players, hey man, dude, pray for him after the game. But right now, we're gonna lay hands on you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's the way I play. Oh, you quiet, you soft spoken, but on the field, yes, that's my job. I have a passion for it, but it never leaves the field or the stadium or the locker room. I was. It was one of the things I told my wife when that garage door shut. There was no more football. No more football.
Mhm.
So you got to separate the two. You got to learn how to separate the two. You got to play hard for 60 minutes. And then afterwards, it's over. You got to leave it on the field. But I don't know. I think this organization needs, I'm not saying just do over, it needs a
Yeah.
reboot. It needs a reboot, and it needs to find uh, it's, I'm sorry, it's from the top down. It has to find, it has to look in the mirror and soul search and say, what do we want to be? Because this last year we didn't find, we can't say going into next year, oh, we're this or we're that. We still don't know what this football team is. We don't know. We don't know its character. We don't know its identity. And until they find that, they're not going to ever be successful.
I agree with you, T. I know a lot of people have been saying, well, the Falcons, won 7 games this year, and it's an improvement. It's an improvement in the win-loss column, but that doesn't overall mean it's a change in the culture of the team. It
Right.
still seems like the same old Falcons organization,
Right.
and they're okay, they're comfortable with mediocrity. That you'll be like, oh well, it was 7-11. That's better than last year. Instead of saying no, you should have made the
Yeah.
playoffs. You should have won
Well,
those games. You should have won and made it.
well, understand this, will you? The 7 teams that they beat, which one of them was in the playoffs this year? Which one has had a record over 500? Which one?
Yeah, I'd have to go. I don't think one at all. I don't think we beat a winning
That's
team.
my point. Come on, guys. Are we as fans starting to settle for mediocrity? Are we that? Are we that to that point now that we didn't throw our hands up and says, we get 7, 8 wins. That's
Mhm.
better. If we get 8 wins next year, that's better than 7 the year before. No, 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 no. We got to demand more from this organization. We have to demand more from them. And people say, well, we how can the fans demand more? And how you got to speak up, and then people, the owner can say, the president can say, the GM can say, the coach can say, the fans don't make decisions on who's on this team or who plays or who not. but they show to make a decision who sits in those seats,
Definitely.
which affects everybody. So you better
Hmm.
be careful when you talk about your fans and your fan base, because at the end of the day, if they say I'm not coming anymore, somebody's job is going to be on the line. So you need to listen. And I'm not saying you're going to do what they say. You could say, I understand. I understand your frustration. I can understand you wanting this guy, but we got to find the right guys to fit. Let me see if that's a good fit. And I'm not saying that you letting the fans dictate, but you got to listen to them, because
Yeah.
if they feel that they're part of what this is, this gets better.
Yeah, it just feels like a party right now. It doesn't feel like a
Yeah,
winning
that's all. That's all.
football product. It's just a party. This weekend, we got another game before the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl. You played in 1994 in the Pro Bowl. Back then, it was in Hawaii. Now it's in Vegas. What was it like for you and your family when out in Hawaii?
Man, that was wonderful. I took my mom and my aunt, my receiver coach. I invited all the practice squad wide receivers, and only one went. So it was a great trip, man. And
Let me
it was
stop.
fun.
Let me stop you right there. So you got your mom and aunt. Do you have to pay out of pocket for
Yeah.
their? Okay.
Uh-huh.
I was
Uh-huh.
wondering. I didn't know if the
Uh-huh.
NFL like, hey, you get to
Mm-mm.
bring a certain amount of.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I paid for all that. I paid for all that. Hotel rooms and everything. I paid for
Okay.
all that. The coolest thing about it was on the NFC side, I have the game day book,
Hmm.
and I had every player sign that book. And
Oh,
90% of those players are in the Hall of Fame.
yes, yes. I was just looking at that team.
Look at that team.
That team was wild. You had Dion, Greg Lloyd, Haley, Emmett Smith, Bruce Smith, Junior Seau, Chris Carter, Sanders, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Rod Woodson, Darren Woodson, Kevin Green, Nate Newton, John Carney, Eric Turner. I mean, Cortez Kenny, Merton Hanks. You could go on and on.
Oh, dude, it was an awesome team, man. Good gracious. And it was a cool thing because I was out in California for the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl all week, and I'm
Mhm.
hanging out with Rod Woodson. And we were talking about that Pro Bowl, and I told him that same thing, and he looked and said, "Wow, that is true." He said that was a Pro Bowl team, all Pro Bowl teams. I said, "Yes, it was." I
Yes, it
mean, good
was.
gracious, that was a great Pro Bowl team. That was a time. That was a time where the Pro Bowl was after the Super Bowl,
Yep. Hmm.
and those guys that was in the Super Bowl that was selected to the Pro Bowl would leave there and come to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then in today's game, guys won't even play,
Yep.
and it's flag football. We hit in those games.
Hmm.
Oh, you talking about hitting? It would go back and forth, and you would hit, but you wouldn't hit. But when that fourth quarter came around, woo, you would thought you was in a playoff game. Bodies flying around, and everybody's trying to win that game, because when you win, you get more money than losing.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, "Oh, let's get this money." We happen to win that game, and we got more money than
You were out
the
there a
AFC.
full. You out there a full week.
A full week.
Nice.
Barry Switzer was our coach.
Okay. So when the Super Bowl champions they came when they flew in and it become the
Yes.
Pro Bowl, were they
Hmm.
talking a
Hmm.
lot of mess?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a lot of mess talking. It was pretty cool because, for instance, that year I think San Francisco won. I think
Hmm.
that was the year or no, no, no. It was,
I think.
I know this. Dallas and San Francisco played against each other in an NFC championship game.
Hmm.
So there was bad blood at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it was the Niners.
Yeah, it was when you say bad blood, it was
Uh
bad blood. Michael Irvin wouldn't run the reps with Steve Young.
huh.
Troy Aikman wouldn't throw routes to Jerry Rice. It was crazy, man. Emmett Smith wouldn't get in the huddle with Steve Young or any other of the 49ers. So Jerry was hurt, so Jerry didn't play. So I become Steve Young receiver that week.
Okay.
So I played with Steve Young in the game, and we had a connection in that game. So, and then Then you had guys like Warren Moon and Chris Carter. They had each other. So Steve Young put his arm around me and said, "Hey, you my guy this week."
How did you enjoy that?
Man, that was awesome, dude. It was a awesome week, man. You just don't understand just those type of guys. Uh, I was always a fan of the game,
Yeah.
and it was my 5th year in the league, and I was still a young pup, really, first
Mhm.
time as a starter in the league. And when you walk up after you check in and you walking around and somebody says everybody at the pool bar. So I walk around there, and then you have guys like Junior Seau and Rod Woodson and all of them say, "Hey T, come over here with us." And I'm going, "Me? Me? The little old, 5'10", 165-pound me?" It, and then it was the coolest thing, and you hanging out with Barry Sanders every day.
Yeah.
It was, and I'm talking about these guys are my peers, but
Yes.
I was such a fan of the game when I was little, and I had all their football cards,
Mhm.
and it was just having an opportunity to be there. And I'm like, oh my God. I never took that game for granted because it was a dream come true. And I was playing in the NFL. I was never bigger than the NFL or any team that I played for because at the end of the day, I knew it was a privilege and an honor to be there. And I took full advantage of those 13 years. It was incredible, man.
What's
Incredible.
Steve Young throw like?
Oh my God. The greatest. I mean, it's a ball that's easy to, well, like the day before,
Mhm.
we have a challenge. So uh what happens is, so it's a one-on-one challenge.
Mhm.
So the quarterback has his receiver, you'll go against a DB, and you have certain amount of times to score touchdowns, plays to score touchdowns. And I was Steve Young's receiver. Oh my, we won
Okay.
because we lit it up. We lit it up. Oh my God, it was so much fun, man. So we won the competition uh that day.
Okay. But it wasn't no like super hard balls, nice touch.
Mm. No, it was perfect. He threw everything on time and
Mhm.
it was perfect touch. Like you're being around when you turn that ball, it was there. But it wasn't hard. It
Yeah.
was easy. Ooh, I'm like, oh my God, this is beautiful. I'm like, beautiful. I'm like, oh, I could do this all day. It was great, man. It was great. And me and Steve Young became cool after that. We
Yeah.
played each other a few more times, and before the game, we embraced. I even got a picture of him and I embracing,
Okay.
before a game. So we
Nice.
always had this nice relationship between the two.
That's cool. What you got for us in the show, T?
Um, Here's the thing. I was thinking about that before we came on, and you always hear I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. Oh, I'm worried this is not going to happen. I'm worried not going to happen. But then at night they pray.
Mhm.
Then in the morning they wake up, I'm worried, I'm worried. My mom said to me, if you're going to worry, don't pray,
Mhm.
but pray and not worry. And that's it. It's that simple. If you
That makes
trust in
sense.
God, you trust in God, why are you worrying? Why are
Mhm.
you praying to Him to help you come overcome things or accomplish things, but then you worry about it not happening? Our God has never failed us. He's undefeated. So if you're gonna worry, don't pray, but pray and not worry. So that's the word for that.
All right. Thank you, Terrence. I hope everyone has a great day. Continue to stay safe. Make sure that you subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited and turn on those notifications. Bye, everyone.